Hi, I'm Jessica with Gold Rush Expeditions, and today we are 6.5 miles outside of Leadville, standing on what used to be a mill. This mill does not show up on a map, so it's really fun to come out here and see something like this. Unfortunately, it has been subjected to a fire, as you can see by some of the burning in the mill, but it wasn't a total loss, so it's still something to come out here and see. This mill was built on multiple levels. There's a road that goes to the ore bin on the top, where the original ore would have been dumped, and then it would have come down each level, been refined a little bit more, until it was put into trucks to go to a smelter where the silver and gold bars were made. Things that make Leadville very interesting. First of all, Leadville is historically a huge mining community. That's the whole reason Leadville is here. In fact, every August they celebrate their boom days, which we just barely missed. Second of all, it's historic in many ways as Baby Doe Tabor. Have you ever heard of Baby Doe Tabor? Baby Doe and Horace was actually kind of a slut, to be honest, because Baby Doe was his second wife. But he basically became a billionaire overnight, and we're talking in early 1900s terms. Him and his wife spent $10,000 a day just blowing all this money that they were making during the silver boom. Well, he also became basically a pauper overnight because when the silver prices dropped, so did his company, and he lost everything. So the government stopped supporting silver, and so it dropped in price by 400%, leaving it to be like 3 cents an ounce. Silver was where Baby Doe and Horace were making all of their money, so they became paupers overnight. Horace ended up dying, but they decided to hold on to one mine, and Horace told Baby Doe, hang on to the matchless mine because it will produce again. Well, she did, and she actually stayed there until she died in the cabin right at the matchless mine. Tons of history, I won't get totally into it right now, but read the book because it is really cool. And that's just one of the stories of historic Leadville. Well, yeah, there's a mining museum in Leadville. It's amazing. It's huge. They have so much history. And you can't drive up and down the streets of Leadville without seeing a mine. It's impressive. There's even mine tours that you can go on right here in Leadville, and they have the Leadville train. There is so much to do if you love mining in Leadville, Colorado. So we are going to explore this site. You're gonna see that on the point of view cameras, and then we'll probably give you a shot of the road on the way out. So for Gold Rush Expeditions, I'm Jessica. Enjoy the POV tour, and I'll see you at the next site. Old building here. It's definitely been through a fire. You can see a little bit of the burn on it. Nice tailings. Start with the due diligence so I don't forget it. We are about 7 miles outside of Leadville, Colorado. Looks like this was a big site, even though technically on the map these only show as prospects. Little funny that this area with this big of a building would be just a prospect, but we see that a lot. Are getting a little bit of rain today. August 27th, Leadville, Colorado. A little bit of rain, no biggie. I expect that I will find pyrite in, so I'm going to keep a close eye for any nice pyrite chunks to show ya. Hey Schumann, you should come take a look at this and tell me what you think it is. It's interesting.
This is definitely just a mill. I think we crushed up here. As you can see, all the old stuff that's just powdery down here. All this stuff didn't get processed for some reason. And then probably went down through a couple of different processes before it went out to trucks down there. But like you can see what you're standing on has been run through. But there's also been, aside from the mica, some good little bits of color.
This ore I will find pyrite, I guarantee it, because
it's just the way it is.
it's just the way it is.
Look at this interesting little
It's interesting.
something to note right here, purely just informational, is that some asshole set the bottom of this on fire. You can see where this is burned here, but nothing else around it is burned. So some dickhead thought he was probably really cool, and oh, I'm just gonna set fire to this old mining shit, that'll be rad. If you see people doing stuff like that out in the hills like this, just randomly stop by and kick their ass. That's probably just what they need. So yeah, too bad. It would have been interesting before the fire, because you can see it's in pretty good shape as it is. So, but you just can't breed stupid out of some people. Some people go out in the hills and they will burn and shoot and do whatever with whatever they find. So it's best to kill those people and leave them out in the woods in a shallow grave. Yeah, that's getting better. So this is going to be part of your good ore in here. It's got a little bit of weight to it as well. Let's keep working our way down here. This is good stuff right here. You can see the color of our water. All these little bits over here are probably meant to sample the penetration of the water into the ground. What this says to me is that this water, being that it's kind of orange, has iron in it, it's totally natural. Nobody's going to die from it. Don't believe all the hype and the bullshit. If you do want to believe all the scientific assessment of how dangerous the water is when it's orange, do this. Take a look at how many people have died from it, how many people have been injured from it, how many species of fish have died from it. Because 99 times out of 100, and go ahead and look this up, you're going to find out that there's been, all this shock and awe, and oh my God, the mines are so terrible, and look at this elevated level of blah, 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 heavy metal shit in the water, and it looks so dastardly and toxic, but it's not. Fish haven't been affected by it, the people haven't been affected by it, nobody's really been affected by it, but you have effectively given the EPA some more money so they can wander around out here and put plastic things in the ground so that they can make some useless assessment that really doesn't mean anything, because honestly, this water, these mines, all this has been here for far before the EPA was, and everybody's gotten along just fine. The only thing the EPA does is make a big fucking fuss about nothing so that they can put it on the news, and people that are uneducated and don't know any better can get all whooped up about how dangerous it is. So we'll take a look here if that comes off. Yeah, but you probably got something that goes right down the center of that they can make a measurement of the groundwater penetration. Oh, look, there we go. There's one that's still in place. So, yeah, I'm so good some days. We have Mr. Big Hose here. And that goes down. And you can see what the water table looks like below this. So we'll take Mr. Hose Let's stick them in here. This has got to be one of the more random wastes of money, but oh, there's rock right there. Nothing! Oh my god! It's so dangerous. What a waste of money. But this is your tax dollars, so I mean, by all means, you know, let's not call the EPA out on their bullshit. Basically what the EPA is doing is costing you money by scaring people. People have been mining up here for 150, 170 years that we have documented evidence of. And you know how many people down in Leadville have died from this? You know how many people downstream have died? 0. They're not dying from the water. If they do die of anything that's related to the mines, it might be because of a cave-in. It might be because of, you know, some explosion, but I hate to say it, shit happens, you know. Truck drivers die every day on the road. Yet we don't close down the trucking industry. So, yeah, I could rant for days, but I won't. So, come up here, really get some good mines. Now, I was talking about before, about this water being super awesome for panning and such, is 1, look at your color, 2, look at the mines. So any bits of gold that were not picked out by the miners, which by the way the miners were not picking out every little bit of gold, they were picking out the good stuff. The rest of that is going to flow whoosh, right down there into the water. So get yourself a little pan, get out here, you're going to find all the little gold that the miners really didn't care to go fish out. Because every time in the past 100 years, there's been a rainstorm, there's been snowfall, there's been anything, water is washed down. When the water washes down, it goes into the river.
As you can see, the roads to this side are just, I mean, they're impeccable. I don't want to recommend getting up here in your Honda, but you definitely could. These are very refined looking tailings. Just meaning that they are very, I mean, not a lot of really big rocks. They're mostly just kind of powder fine. What do you think? Look at me and give me something about this.
I'm just kind of amused at how much is going on. I still show something up the hill from us here.
Right?
So, based on this, kind of tells me that I kind of want to go hike a little more, see if I can see anything up there. But this is definitely, I mean, the size of that car right there tells me that they're pulling a pretty good amount of stuff out. I mean, that's not a small car. It's a pretty good sized car.
So do you think this is purely an adit? Or do you think it was just some little prospect?
Yeah, this is totally an adit. It wasn't a prospect by any means, because the difference between prospect and adit is a prospect is usually about a 50-foot, maybe on a good day, down ran. An adit is something that's going into workings, and you can see from where you're at here how far this goes back. So this is probably just a natural collapse here of just weather is what I'm guessing. Well, I'd call it Forest Service, but it looks like it kind of angles back, and none of this is really in too hard of rock yet. So I bet if we go a little farther up, like if we got farther below this layer of dirt and crap, that we'll probably hit the hard rock where this goes into. Is that prospect over there? Is that what I'm seeing? Okay.
Yeah,
let's go check it out. Yeah, but yeah, like you said, having an ore cart here, that says that you're doing, that takes you above and beyond. You've moved past the wheelbarrow, you've moved past everything else, and you've decided at some point, you know what, I'm down here, it's a good idea to drag a big ass heavy ore cart all the way up to this mine. You don't do that for, 50 feet or 100 feet. You're only gonna drag that up for a good sized mine that you're dumping good ore out of. That would be my assessment. What do you think? Alright. So hopefully you can see that. You can see this right over here. There's tailings over there. So I think that's probably gonna be our last working. So we'll check it out. Shaft at some point. The shaft is probably naturally filled in over the years, and then there's been water in there. Trees like water, so they grow in the little hole. You grow in the little hole? Yep. Looks nice, the dark piece right there. By the pine cone, yep. Definitely a nice old mine. That was probably a cooper over there too, but it might have gone into a lattice. Somebody might have tried. We're up here a little bit. You can also see, and this is totally pulling at straws here, but you can see there's a few larger trees that have been cut down and they're older. And I bet you, like there's one over there. I bet you back in the day there's another stump that those trees were cut down. They're probably used as timbers around here because that would be probably more efficient than going down to the bottom of the road and bringing some timbers up. So these are all, more of these trees. You can see how miners destroy the environment because this environment is destroyed. When this mine was active, probably in its last days, it was maybe in the 40s, and then it's probably been held, picked at into the 70s and probably early